I'm theciaellis, and welcome to Grandma's Homestead. Okay, today is all about bread, and I have been trying to decide for a little bit while what kind of bread I wanted to make. Do I want to make a quick bread, and do I want to make a really, just different kinds of breads? And I had seen where somebody I had been communicating with post peasant bread. I thought, oh, I don't know what peasant bread is, and so I looked it up, I researched it a little bit, and I thought, I can make that, and so can you. Let's get started. The ingredient list is very simple. It's calling for 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, 2 teaspoons of sugar, some yeast, and 2 cups of lukewarm water. And later on it's going to ask for some butter. I believe that's for the pan. But right now, this is what we got going here. When you measure for flour to cook with or bake with, particularly, you don't want to pack it down, but you do want to level it off. So we've got our 4 cups of flour here. There are 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, the 2 teaspoons of sugar, the instant yeast, we're going to mix this all together, all the dry ingredients. Then we're going to add our lukewarm water. All right, that is mixed up, and it says to cover it. We're not going to knead it. We're not going to do anything else to it except cover it. So we're going to cover this. I think I'm going to do a double layer because this is a wide bowl. Cover any cracks that I missed. All right, that is covered. I'm going to set it aside. I'm actually probably going to put a towel over it and just let it aside. And then we're going to let it rise for up to 2 hours. So we're going to check on it occasionally and see how it looks and see what's going on with it. And then we'll come back and do the rest of it. All right, it's been about an hour and a half. So I think it has risen pretty good. The instructions on this are a little bit interesting to me though, because what it's telling me now is to take 2 forks to bring it off the side. Ooh, it smells good, guys. Golly. But to bring it up, 2 forks and bring off the edges as a form of putting it down. I'm not sure why 2 forks, but and it's very sticky dough. She's talking about bringing it to the center. Talking about peasant bread. I've got one. Well, I'll show you what I got. I've got 1 loaf pan. Now this says to put it in bowls. I don't have a bowl that I can bake in, so, and I kind of want squared up stuff anyway. So I got 1 baking pan, and I didn't have another baking pan, so we're going to try it in an 8x8 pan. Obviously, they're going to cook at different rates, but she's basically saying to find the middle and scoop it in straight. Oh, and these have been buttered. I've already buttered them. That's what that butter came for. It's part of the ingredients. And then she says this could get messy. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to do the fork part or not. I might do something different. Because this is so wet, I think I'm going to go for a spatula. We'll see how it goes. Okay, that's 1. We'll get that down here in just a minute. And let's get the rest of this into this other pan. Alright, let's make these a little more uniform. And it says to let it rise for another 20 to 30 minutes. So let's cover these back up and let them rise some more. Well, I've messed up. It says do not cover your bread for the second rise. So we're going to take this off because I guess they're wanting a more crusty crusty bread with this, and I'm wondering because there's some big holes here. This might be some holy bread. I don't know, but we'll find out. I've got the oven preheating for 425. The instructions say after this has risen again, and it's getting pretty close, I believe, that we're going to put in the oven for about 15 minutes at 425, and then it tells you to turn it down to 375 for another 15 minutes. So we'll let this rise just a little bit more. We'll let it crust up a little bit like I was supposed to do in the first place, and then we'll stick in the oven. All right, let's put these in the oven. And we'll check it in a moment. All right, let's check this out. Man, I tell you what, it has been smelling so good. I believe that's going to be all right. We'll find out in a few minutes. Now you want to let that cool. Let it cool down some. I may even put it here in a moment, put it on a towel to let it cool down some more so it has the circulation around it. But we'll let that sit there for right now. Let's turn this oven off and let this cool down for a little bit, and then we'll get some butter. Let's get these. Uh-oh. There it goes. I didn't bring the butter up high enough for this one. There we go. That one came out much easier. Amazing. All right. I'm going to turn these over. I'm going to cover it, and we'll let it with just a little towel. And we'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll cut it and see how it tastes. All right. I'm sure it's not quite cool, but it should be okay. We'll let this one rest for a little bit longer. This one actually is a little more cool, but we're gonna, I don't know how to cut into it because this is a weird shape. That's actually pretty though. Look at that. That's a nice texture. I was worried about having too big of holes, but that's not bad at all. Probably should have got a cutting board. Okay, let's do a little bit. I like the crusty part. That's beautiful, guys. And that was not very much work. I didn't have to do a lot of kneading, because if you do regular bread, they tell you to knead it for like 8-10 minutes. That's just obnoxious. But this is actually pretty decent. It's chewy, but it has a really good flavor. It's a hearty bread. That's what they wanted you to have. I like it. All right, that's what I've got for you today. This is actually, I enjoyed it. It's a good bread. I think, you know how the kind that you get in the food that you get in an Italian food restaurant where you can dip it in the oil and whatever else they put in the herbs and stuff. That would be a good bread for this. And as easy as it was to make, I think it's worth it. So that's all I got for you today. I want to remind you that I also post most of my stuff on Rumble. That is one of those alternative places where you can watch if you don't want to do YouTube or Facebook, because I think some people are still boycotting those. But Rumble, I can be found on Rumble. I do a scripture of the day, I do a quote of the day, and any video that I produce goes on to Rumble too. So you can find me on there on theciaellis. Also, don't forget, I have the other YouTube channel called This Grandma's Life, and I'm doing some adventures and we're doing things and having a good time. So check out that YouTube channel, like and subscribe for me, and let's see what I'm going to be getting into. All right, this is all I got for you today. God bless. I'll see you next time.